So here's my finely loaded brass and bullets. And as you can see, winter has started. And I'm actually very thankful for that because, let's see, right now it's 16 degrees Fahrenheit. I even need some of these. It's only going to get colder, but that means as we do our Battle of the Boattails, we're going to have some consistent temperatures. So it's going to make for a more consistent turnout with our results. That said, I've already done a video on the brass prep. We're going to be using PPU brass, Remington primers, and I've already showed you what I'm going to be trimming everything to, and I'm going to try to keep track of the concentricity, both of as we're resizing, but also before and after. I won't always show that, but I will definitely make note of it. I am using PPU bullets. I've already fired these before. These have worked fairly well, so I'm very anxious to see how they do with IMR Enduron 4451. But they're not the highest quality bullet. I'm already went against some Sierra Match Kings, which have done very well, especially with the Remington primers. That's part of the reason why I'm using this. It's also the reason why with this, I mean, if you watch the brass prep video, I mean, what's the one thing I'm really doing wrong here? I'm doing a load workup, and this is not once fired brass. This is not once fired brass. This is brass that's straight from the factory. So some people are going to be screaming about that, but don't worry, it's all part of the plan. Anyway, so I have my targets set up. Let's go ahead and get to that. I guess to just do a very brief overview. This is, well, these I've just worked up with Excel. I got as close to these as I could, but don't worry, they're not exact. Yeah, because 0.91, that's kind of unrealistic. These 5 are my fouling shots, because I'm also cleaning my rifle after every series. And we're working from the minimum to the maximum. The maximum we're keeping at 38.3. This is a small ring mauser. I have no intention of trying to hot rod it, at least for the Battle of the Boattails. So let's see how PPU bullets do. Okay, so just to go over, so this is a type of Dan Newberry Optimum charge weight test, modified though. So you fired from minimum, next up, next up, next up, next up. I let the rifle cool. Repeated the process, firing at the respective target, and now here we are. Let's take a look at the primers, and you can see these are the. It's having a hard time focusing, but you can see the minimum charge is actually maybe a little bit too light, and the maximum charge. There we go. See a lot better there. Are nowhere near flattened. They're still, well, actually, that one's the lightest charge as well. But yeah, they're nowhere near flattened. So we got some room. Let's walk out to the targets. Let's see how we did. Oh, I'm actually shivering just a little bit. This is going to be kind of weird for the people who are tuning in for the first time and are watching in the middle of summer, or for some other place that rarely gets snow. And hey, wow. Okay, so this is the minimum charge. That's actually for this rifle. If you've seen any of my other videos with this rifle, that's a good group. And this is the next up, so that's a slightly worse group. There is a point of impact shift, but it's really not by too much. It's still pretty close to the point of aim. I always do a 6 o'clock hold, so it's just a little bit off. I would definitely like to chrono these, see how close it is to the original military loading, which was 173 grain, I do believe, going 2,300 feet per second. But anyway, Here's the third charge, and that's fantastic. I should have watched the video I did with the Sierra Match King with both the primers, because I think the third charge ended up being the optimum charge rate. I'm actually pretty excited to see if that's going to be the trend, if the third group always seems to do best. Now here we have the second to last group, a little bit of opening up, and there is kind of a shift up towards the point of impact now. And you can see here, this is the maximum charge, and we have something that's very characteristic of this rifle. Soon as we start to get into the max charge range, the group's starting to open up. So whether I'm hitting a scatter node, because of it's a max charge, or maybe there's another node beyond this one. Maybe I could try going a step up. That might be a video for another time. But either way, it's a trend I see with this rifle. Maybe I'll do a test where I chronograph and see if there's a certain harmonic along with the speeds. I'm kind of babbling at this point, but that's because I actually am shivering. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so we do got some more rounds to fire. Let's put up some new targets and let's have some fun. What's the point of all this anyway, right?